This is Mega Man Zero 2 for the Game Boy Advance. So, last we left Zero, he'd just killed Copy X and had escaped Neo Arcadia, but he did not return to the Resistance, as the opening text crawl will state. It has in fact been an entire year. Didn't really seem like an active choice, more so just he landed in the middle of an army of Pantheons and just started shooting. So, the first game had an incredible introduction. This, however, is definitely the best intro in the series, and maybe just ever. It is absolutely one of my all-time favorites just because of the everything you're about to witness. Background design, general tone, music especially. Let's go! And we begin Mission 1. So yes, this song is Departure, and it is, I'd say, definitely my favorite song in this game, and maybe one of my favorites in the entire series. We're just gonna stand here killing Pantheons for a moment. You can not do this if you want to, and if you want a better time, you'll probably want to do this, but eventually, Zero will react, and he says, this isn't fun anymore, so let's get a move on, and yeah, Zero's been doing this for so long that even the menus actually started to get damaged. We don't even have the Cyber Elf screen anymore, though since we're not in the Resistance, I guess we just can't connect to whatever database they're in. But it's not just the menu that's broken down. Zero is currently stuck in his low HP idle animation, so even if you're full on health, you're just gonna get him being tired. We also have an electric golem. Can't kill this thing in one hit with a saber anymore. Neo Arcadia's managed to advance them just enough that they're not so easily killable. Basically, if it's left arm fires, you want to get in close. If it's right arm fires, you want to be far away. That's just how the spread of those shots works. But yeah, you might also notice that we only have two options for Z-Saber and Buster. And that's not just the typical, like, video games forget about your upgrades from the first game thing. We straight up don't have the shield boomerang or triple rod anymore. They broke. Yeah, they straight up broke down. And so now we just have to work with only the Z-Saber, which is too cool to ever break down fully, as far as we know. And the Buster, which, you know, it's supposed to just be an ordinary-ass gun, but Milan must have taken good care of his weaponry. Sorry to that corpse, that's not an actual obstacle, so it's a bit rude to destroy it. You don't, like, get docked points or anything for it, but it feels bad. Also, as you might have noticed, we do have Cyber Elves still. However, they also give you the name of the Cyber Elves when you collect them now, so hey, that's slightly less effort for me in post-editing. All I gotta do now is just label when you get a Cyber Elf for killing a certain number of enemies, and we're good to go. Also, before we get to the boss, which just decimated 3 Pantheons, big deal, it's important to note, unlike in the first game, there are no missable Cyber Elves. More on that later. Right, so things have been going pretty badly for Zero lately. Now we've just got a fucking robot Scorpion to deal with. Sometimes it can use its pincer as a shield, which I'm sure it'll show it off at any moment. It will try to break open the ground, though as long as there's somewhere to stand on the right side of the screen, there's really no reason not to do that. Like, you need room to move around and avoid his firing the pincer attack, and I guess he didn't shield that. Well, I think he shielded one attack, but he didn't do it as often as I thought he would. Either way, though, clear time 20 and enemy 15 means, of course, that's a perfect 100, because everything else is gonna be 100 too, of course. You didn't see me die, did ya? Also, it is literally impossible to use a Cyber Elf at this point. We're starting a fresh save, we're only just getting them. So yeah, Zero's been going for an entire year, but that's about it. Well, that was a cool opening, but I guess Zero's dead now. But wouldn't you know it, we know that theme. And we know that mount, too. You know, Harpooia, I would normally be kind of worried about seeing you here, but thank you for doing that to Aztec Falcon. He doesn't talk now, right? I know you're in the middle of a big decision and all, and like, this is actually a pretty big moment, all things considered. But I do appreciate that he apparently just dismantled Aztec Falcon and turned him into a vehicle. I'm glad he did that. And here we are at the new Resistance base. Yep, it's no longer just a hole in the wall, or floor, I guess. Also, who the hell are you? I thank you all for accepting me as the commander, but, like, could you move the text box to the bottom? It's kind of really messing with the CG. I think I cut a pretty cool figure, right? It's a cool pose? You all like it? Yeah. So it shouldn't be blocked off by a text box. Okay, whatever. So yeah, we've got a new Resistance base and new uniforms. It seems like they're almost armored this time. They've got helmets. Maybe fewer of them will be slaughtered en masse this time. So yeah, Ciel was the leader in the previous game. But also, she doesn't necessarily want to be. There was nobody else for the position, really. But apparently El Piso here was the reason they were able to escape the first time. But yeah, Ciel has other things she wants to do, and also, she just kinda seems chronically depressed at most points, so like... I think she could use less of that, personally. She deserves it, she went through the entire first game. So yeah, Ciel actually gets to do proper research now, the thing she's really good at and probably doesn't stress her out nearly as much. El Piso, though, does seem to want to maybe take a little more action against Neo Arcadia. We did kill their leader, but they do still exist, evidenced by the fact that Harpooia just kinda rolls around in the desert, I guess, just kinda flies around. Don't know why he's out there, but I guess it's none of my business. We do still have some of the old-style Resistance outfits, though. And fittingly enough, that's the guy who gives the news that Zero has been found. Huh, how strange. And we also see the old-style Resistance members all rush out, too. El Piso's ellipsing a lot, though. He's very flat in that bed. I don't know why that amuses me, it just does. So you're finally awake. Someone caught you crossing the border. Let me ellipses a whole bunch. I don't know why, but ellipses come in sets of 3 for some reason in this game. I don't get it, but whatever. Maybe it was a style choice for these text boxes. So yeah, we've got familiar faces for Zero, but definitely not a familiar environment. But it is thanks to him that they're here in the first place, so... it is kinda nice that we have a very tangible, I guess, reward, victory from the first game. Like, game 1 is just Zero trying to keep everybody alive, and he bought everybody enough time to get here. So Servo here did fix our weapons, so we're not gonna get to him just yet, apparently. But the good news is, we do get the shield boomerang immediately. It's not like the first game where you have to wait for your weapons, and there's also the possibility that you mess a mission up and then can't get them. Unfortunately, shield boomerang's nice, but he mentioned a new weapon. Also, here's this. We've got forms and we've got X skills. Yeah, we'll talk about those later. Here's our Cyber Elf screen. We got a whole bunch in the first mission. But yeah, we don't have our new weapons just yet. We'll have to explore the Resistance base first, or not. You're just gonna automatically talk to us and be like, "Hey, Zero, it's great that you're here. You do still have story scenes to look at, though." We do actually have quite a few new faces. This base is a little bigger than the first one, though pretty similar in format to the first one, though there's not really a quote-unquote open world to this one, unlike the first game. Like, we're not going to leave this base and be able to find the other levels we play. Everything's kind of separated in this game. Anyway, hey, how's it going? Alright, so we get El Piso. And he goes for a handshake, but Zero is gonna be rude. And destroy Neo Arcadia, huh? I don't know about that. I killed the guy leading them, but like, they just kinda kept going, so I don't know if it's gonna be that easy. You're a funny Reploid, and you're rude as hell, anyway. Alright, so back here we've got the lab, which of course is where Savot is. Yeah, he doesn't normally work in medical, so this is where you actually find him, and this is where you get your new weapons. Yeah, so the triple rod got destroyed, and instead of just recreating the triple rod, which I would have appreciated, we get the chain rod instead. And I'm not even gonna play coy about the chain rod. I hate it. I love the intro to this game, but now that we're actually in it, I have to say, chain rod might be my least favorite weapon in the entire series. There's one I'm not as keen on, but I don't think it wrecks nearly as much of the game as chain rod does. I will say, in fairness, it's not like every level's going to be bad because of the chain rod, but there are definitely points in this game where they expect you to use it, and it doesn't work super well. So yeah, the chain rod does sound cool on paper, because it is essentially a grappling hook that you can also use as a weapon. Oh, I'm trying to... I don't like it, but also... No, I haven't... Oh my god. I don't know why he asks if you mastered it, and that's the "do you want the tutorial again" text. So yeah, it's a grappling hook, which you'd think would be cool as hell, and again, in concept that's cool. In execution, this sucks ass. Also, yeah, you can pull stuff with it, that is important, and admittedly the better of its two functions. You can also just kind of do a regular stab with it too, if you want to, but that's probably it's not terribly useful, but it's less annoying than the actual grapple function. I'm gonna shut up about the chain rod now. But yeah, even if triple rod wasn't my favorite, and it was also the source of annoying platforming in the first game, that only happened one time for an optional thing. Actually, I think there were a few points where you had to pogo, but none so bad as the Neo Arcadia Shrine Cyber Elf that you had to use that for. But yeah, chain rod, I'm gonna stop talking about it, like I said, because we've got the rest of the episode. We'll talk about the chain rod when it's applicable, but... I don't like it. I think it's bad. So, I think I mentioned this before. CL did mention an energy crisis a few times. But yeah, we're just getting the full rundown here. Also, yes, they do just straight up use the term concentration camps. They are not beating around the bush. Yeah, so, this hack, I am using the blood hack once again for this one, but that one didn't need to change the script because the word kill is already used a lot, and yeah, no, they don't try to dance around, these are concentration camps. Yeah, we are just straight up slaughtering innocent Reploids. That's just the thing Neo Arcadia's doing. We also get the rundown that Ciel, of course, does want peace. She wants to remove the reason that Neo Arcadia is in a panic state in the first place. Elpiza's just like, we should destroy them. What if we just fought them since they were oppressing us? That seems like a good thing to do. Right, so just like in the first game, Ciel is where we save our game, and Ciel is where we will leave off for the day, so I'll see you next time for when we explore the Resistance base and begin the game proper.